Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Eesha. I'm back today with another makeup tutorial. This is a very simple, easy to achieve makeup tutorial for beginners. Literally so easy to achieve. So let's get into it. So I'm starting off with the Too Faced Lip Injection Extreme. I love this product. It plumps up your lips. Yeah. Now I'm going in with the Dot and Key Vitamin C Concentrate. I think skincare before makeup is so underrated. I've realized this myself very recently, and yeah, I think it's really important to moisturize and hydrate your skin before you even begin putting any kind of coverage on your face. Now I'm going in with the Dot and Key Green Screen Day Cream. Now this is basically a very nice moisturizing day cream. It has this thing called squalene in it, which is something that's actually already found in our bodies naturally, fun fact. So definitely make sure you go in with a nice heavy moisturizer before you put on any kind of makeup on your skin. Let that moisturizer soak in and then begin doing your makeup. Okay, so the next step is primer. This is super important. I think primer is again very underrated. People think it's not necessary at all. So I'm going in with two primers here. I use the NYX Pore Filler in the beginning. It's a silicone primer, which means it's really good to get rid of any pores and fill in any texture in your skin. And second primer I used is the Rimmel Insta CC. This is a color correcting primer. Now I'm going in with foundation. So I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me foundation in the shade 310 Sun Beige. I'm dotting it all over my face, and I plan on doing a fairly thin layer. I didn't want to go too overboard with the foundation. I wanted it to be minimal, but I will build on the concealer. I'm using a stippling brush. Wow, my earring fell out. So I'm using a stippling brush to buff that product in. You can use any foundation brush. I will say that if you're using a beauty blender, then you will definitely end up losing out on a lot of coverage. So make sure you're using your beauty blender while it's wet. So soak it under the sink a couple of times and like squeeze out all of the water, and make sure you use a little bit more product as well, because your blender will soak in a lot of the product. Now I'm going in with the Nykaa Skin Genius concealer palette in the shade medium 02. I took the concealing shade from this palette and I'm just kind of concealing my smile lines because I have some pigmentation there. Also using my finger to do this, and I'm just pressing the same product underneath my eyes and then blending it out. Make sure you're pressing the product into your skin rather than moving it around, because I find that this really helps to give you the max amount of coverage. And if you just kind of move the product around, you're going to spread it out evenly and you're not going to be left with any coverage. So make sure you do that. Now for the next step, I'm taking my L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear Concealer. I am so in love with this concealer lately, and this is in the shade 314. So it's a little bit lighter than my skin tone. So I'm using it as a highlighting concealer to really bring out those areas and put them into focus. You guys can use any concealer that you may have that's a little bit lighter. I'm taking my blender to blend this out. Now I'm using my blender for this step because, as I said, this product has a lot more coverage than the foundation, so you can afford to use your blender. It is going to eat away a lot of your product, but that's fine because this is a very high coverage product. I'm even taking that product up to my eyelid, and I'm going to be using that as my eyeshadow primer. Quickly doing the same thing on the other side, and yeah, just blending out the rest of my face. Here as well, you want to make sure you're using patting motions and not spreading and moving the product around a lot. Make sure you're just patting it into your skin. Now I'm going in with the Max Factor Cream Puff Translucent Setting Powder. I'm using this with another blender that I have. This is actually one of those cheap blenders that you get for $100. But anyway, this powder is really good. I like it a lot. It's very mattifying though. So as you can see, it completely took away all of the shine from my face. And I do like that in certain situations because I do enjoy the matte look a lot. If you don't enjoy the matte look, you can use a brush to do the same thing. So now for eyebrows, I'm using my Miss Claire, trusty old Miss Claire eyebrow palette, and I'm using this brush by London Pride. It's a really good brush actually. It's called the Angular Eyebrow and Eyeliner Brush. I got it from Nykaa for around 250 to 90 rupees, something like that. I'm taking this brush and I'm literally just kind of filling in all of the sparse areas in my brows. And yeah, I just want to kind of keep this clip even though I fast forwarded it, just so you can see the way I fill in my brows. I am adding a little bit more volume and making them look a little bit more thicker. One thing I would definitely say is try to make your brows look as equal as possible. I know eyebrows are supposed to be sisters and not twins, but you know, that's the power of makeup, and let's just put it to the best use, yeah? So now as you can see, I'm kind of rubbing that product wherever I feel like I've put on too much, and I'm brushing my brows out thoroughly so that it doesn't look too much. So now for bronzer, I'm using the Sugar Cosmetics Taupe Topper. This is a very cool tone bronzer. It's not a very warm tone bronzer. So I do like it. I think it's really good for the price. And I'm taking a basic Vega powder brush. And I'm just going to use this bronzer on the perimeters of my face, so like my cheekbones, near my jawline, and so just make sure you cover only those areas with your bronzer. You don't want to go overboard with it. You only want to use this on like the borders of your face, you know what I mean? Okay, so now for highlighter, I'm using the Maybelline Master Chrome highlighter. This is the rose gold one. I am not sure if I like this highlighter or no. I find it a little bit powdery and a little bit chalky. I really wanted to try it, which is why I kind of got it. It's super blinding for sure, but I do think it emphasizes the texture on your face. Either ways, you guys can go in with any highlighter that you guys have. As you can see, I put it on my cheekbones. I always do this thing where I draw a little line across my nose bridge. I'm also putting some highlighter on my brow bone just to like save some time on eyeshadow. So yeah. Now for blush, I'm using the Bourjois blush. This is a very cute blush. It's actually a very corally color. I don't know if this is still available or no. I found this at my house. It belongs to my mom. So I'm just kind of putting this on the apples of my cheek. And I'm even dragging this high up to my cheekbones. I always use so much blush because I find that blush is the first thing that like kind of seeps away from your makeup and you won't see it by the end of the night. So I just go overboard on blush. I recommend you do the same. Now for eyeshadow, I'm going in with my James Charles Morphe palette. I'm so obsessed with this palette. I'm taking this orange shade as like a transition shade. I blow off the extra color because I find that these shadows are super pigmented. Anyway, I'm taking this color and I'm kind of using this all over my lid as like my base shadow. I really recommend you play with warm eyeshadows if you've just started off with makeup and you don't want to do something overboard. You know, if you're scared to put on eyeshadow and stuff, warm eyeshadows are your best friend. Now I'm taking this darker brown eyeshadow, orangey brown eyeshadow I will say, and I'm putting this on my outer V of my eye. I'm doing this with the smaller end of my brush, and doing this just helps add a lot more depth to your eyes. It's a super simple way of making you look like you've done a lot of work on your eyeshadow when you really have not. You know what I mean? And I'm taking that fluffy side again and I'm just blending until it all looks nice and seamless. So now I'm dipping my finger into that gold eyeshadow and I'm using my finger because I find that this gives me the best pigmentation possible. So I'm just taking that eyeshadow and I'm putting it 3/4 onto my lid. I'm not taking it any higher. I'm just putting it onto my lid and then I'm blending it out with that fluffy brush once again. So I recommend you keep your fluffy brush handy at all times when you're doing your eyeshadow. This is also a super simple and easy look to achieve, by the way, for beginners, and it's also a very versatile eye look. You can literally pair this eye look with like a red lip, with a nude lip, with a pink lip, and it all looks good. Now I'm taking this pencil brush by MAC with the same orange eyeshadow we used in the beginning, and I'm going to make sure that I don't go too overboard with this. I'm obviously lining my lower lash line, but you know, I don't like to make this too heavy because then it looks like I've drawn on fake eye bags, and I also don't like to take this all the way into my eye because that just closes off your eye and does not make it look nice in my opinion. So I recommend you do this only like 3/4 again. Now I'm taking the same brush I used for my eyebrows and I'm dipping it into this dark brown shade, and I'm using this to create a small tiny wing. By the way, if you are a new beginner into the makeup world and you want to do wing liner, this is the easiest way to achieve wing liner with an angular brush and with a dark eyeshadow. And you don't even need to use a black eyeshadow for this. You can if you want to, but if you're a beginner and you are a little bit scared, you can definitely go in with a dark brown eyeshadow like I have done here, and it just makes things so much more easy. Now, as you can see here, I'm not going all the way in with my eyeliner because I kind of wanted to do that half eyeliner look here. You can do the entire eye, but I just wanted to keep this a little bit more minimal and a little bit more clean. Literally, angular brushes are your BFF if you're new to wing liner and you want to start creating wing liners. So definitely get your hands on a nice angular brush. I will link mine below. Oh yeah, and don't forget to flaunt your wing liner when you're done. Now I'm taking this Kajal by L'Oreal, I think, and I'm just gonna line my upper eyelid. This is actually called tight lining. I'm not gonna do my bottom lash line, but that's because I didn't want to go too overboard with this eye. I wanted to keep it super clean and simple and versatile, so you know we can wear it with any kind of lip shade. Now I'm going in with this eyelash curler from Miniso, I believe, and I'm just going ahead and curling my lashes. Super important. Now I'm taking the Max Factor False Lash Effect mascara. I have been obsessing over this mascara. It's a dark brown color, by the way. It's not even like a black mascara, but I still really like it. This literally gives me that false lash effect. Look at that. I'm doing my bottom lashes as well. I never don't do my bottom lashes. I always do my bottom lashes. You get the drill. For some reason, I feel like people use mascara so sparingly. Like when I did a lot of shoots back in the day, I used to model a lot, by the way. So a lot of these makeup artists used to put such little mascara on, and I think mascara is so important. It literally completes your makeup look. It opens up your eyes and it makes the biggest difference. And I don't think there's any real limit on how much mascara you're supposed to put on. So just go ham, you know? That's what I do. I just go ham. Okay, so now for lip liner, I'm using my Wet n Wild lip liner in the shade Chestnut. I really like this lip liner, you guys, and especially if you're on a budget, this is literally 150 rupees or something. So I'm just gonna use this to like overline my lip because I actually love the look of like nice big plump lips, and I actually have a whole tutorial on how to make your lips look bigger without filler or any kind of surgery. So if you're interested in that, I will link it somewhere on the screen, and yeah, you can check that out after this one. Okay, so now for lipstick, I was obviously super duper confused, but I decided to do like this hot poppy pink shade. This is called All Fired Up by MAC, and this is one of my favorite MAC lipsticks. At least it was back in the day. I don't end up wearing it that much anymore, but it's such a beautiful bright pink. It literally adds like light to your face, and at this point I was confused whether I regret this or not, but I ended up going with it, and I think it added a lot of color to the look, and it just goes to show that this look can be worn with so many different lipsticks. So yeah, you guys, that's how I got this beautiful makeup look. It's super simple, super easy to achieve. I created this look keeping in mind that I wanted this to be for beginners and for people who are new to makeup. So I really hope this tutorial was helpful for you guys and you guys learned something. I love you so much. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in my next one.